Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Coping with Life. I'm your host, Scotty. How's it going? Now, I want to thank each and every one of you. Keep on telling your friends and family and perfect strangers about my podcast. Thank you so much for everybody who's listening and considers supporting me. The splash page is at anchor.fm/coping with life, one word. And there's also links to my social media. So today's subject is my endeavors in life, stories that I have done. And I'm going to start with the Nicolas Cage movie Pig, and that's Pig. I happen to be in a scene of the movie, and I have an amazing story to go with it. However, this is not the podcast that I tell that story. But I am in Pig for not even a half a second. If you've seen the movie, I am guy on the left, pulling the dude off of Nick Cage's character. That was me. And yeah, I've done a lot of extra stuff. I'm really proud of the stuff that I've done in extras. And I'm very proud of just being me. Sometimes I take for granted that I've done some amazing things in my life. Not a lot of things that I've, are on my bucket list of, I really want this to happen. And every day as my life goes on, the things on my bucket list, are probably never going to be fulfilled. But other than that, I've done some amazing things with my life. I've been on a few TV shows. I've been on a Netflix TV show. Been in a Nick Cage movie. I think that's amazing. So, just living the best life that I can. And I really like to express myself, but when I'm being paid to do something, I'm going to not only follow the rules, but I'm also going to do my best and, show respect and not be selfish. I've seen it time and time again. I have many stories that I could tell, maybe in future episodes. But it's, sometimes I can have, be in Fantasyland and dream big. But at the same time, you want to, be realistic. If you're on set, a director is not going to go, oh, I want you to be the leading actor. They may change roles for you, but that is maybe 1-2%. Don't get your hopes up. And for me, I'm just doing what I was told. And, living the best life that I can. And definitely okay with that. And, being on set for TV shows or movies. It's definitely not easy work. It's very strenuous and hard, and especially, you're doing many days, long hours, and your stuff may be on the cutting room floor. Either way, I'm okay. And I'm very grateful for the stuff that I've done and that I may do in the future. And I really like learning. I love learning. I love exploring new ventures. And I've done a lot of things in my life that people go, oh, that I wish I could do that. It's like, well, I take a lot of pride in, saving up, doing something very special that, may not turn out well. And sometimes I can be disappointed. But sometimes I like to jump in head first and see where I land. A good friend of mine once told me, Scotty, I don't know how you do it, but you go, you know what, I want to go to this concert at this location. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't have the finances to do such things. And oh yeah, I'm 3,000 miles away. And I go, it's like, okay, it's 3 months away. And just by luck, I happen to pull it off. And my friend goes, don't know how you do it, but I'm glad that you can, and you can live carefully. And yeah, I do put myself in danger a lot. I used to hitchhike a lot, and I'm still alive, thankfully. But yeah, I used to hitchhike a lot. And I like to find things to do. Sometimes, in all honesty, I'm like, oh, this would be amazing to do with somebody else. Well, no one really wants to do something with me. Till after I've done it, it's like, oh, you didn't ask me. It's like, well, actually, I did. So, well, I didn't know you were serious. It's like, I'm always serious. And sometimes there's things that I will say that I want to do. But, I will dwell on it for a couple of days. And go, I can find something better. Or there may be something else that comes up that shifts my direction. But, sometimes it's the drive and passion that I have to do something. A couple years ago, I went to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. And a year before that, I was living in Washington State. And I'm like, it would be cool to go to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. I've been to many other wrestling events, and I'm a huge professional wrestling fan. And, I'm like, okay, cool. I doubt that I will be going to WrestleMania. And, the way that life works in mysterious ways. And I didn't know things were going to happen the way that they did. And I found myself living in Dallas, Texas. And, well, alright then. So when tickets went on sale, I got tickets to NXT TakeOver Dallas, where Shinsuke Nakamura made his debut. And the main event was Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. And then it was WrestleMania 32 at the AT&T Stadium. I did not go to the Hall of Fame. I chose not to. Went to Raw on Monday. And that was fun. And that was a fun weekend. I went alone. Nobody wanted to come with me. But now, I was actually volunteering at the fan access that they were doing WrestleMania weekend. I was in the mornings, I was at a hotel helping people with all their information with WrestleMania and finding places to eat. And then also went to the access venue, was by the Raw sign, was helping people take photos, and meeting with a few content creators and just walking to NXT. Excuse me. And that was a fun time. That entire weekend was a blast. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is, in my mind, even though I was in cheap seats, and I remember FaceTiming a friend right before Callisto came out during the pre-show. And I was talking to them, and they're like, oh, that's cool, I would love to go. And I'm like, oh, maybe one day. Spoiler alert. They did eventually go see Mania. And very proud of that. But, here I am doing all this amazing stuff. And I remember somebody told me, why don't you have the best seats? Why do you have cheap seats? Like, well, I like the cheap seats. I enjoy it very much. And I had a blast. And I'm like, hey, I'm glad that this was able to happen. And it was, I was so happy, I was so enthralled, and and then they announced that WrestleMania was going to Orlando for WrestleMania 33, and I thought it would be cool, and I went. I went to WrestleMania 33, and I couldn't be happier. Um, so the I think that was pretty cool. Um, but I've got to done a lot of things. I've been in TV shows, movies, done events, have seen bands that I'm a huge fan of. I've seen Avengers Sevenfold, Kiss, Judas Priest, the Scorpions. What I'm saying is I've been to many concerts and events, and traveling to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in New York on Broadway was amazing. That was amazing, especially having the original cast from the West End product. That was, whew, that's an entire story. And I love to travel. I really do like to let the wind guide me. And, it's the way that I live. And a lot of people have said, well, if you had a family, you couldn't do that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you're right. But I don't have a family. I'm me. So why should I not do it while I can? So, and with this, right now, things are opening up again. Events are happening. I'm not really jumping and saying, oh, I need to do this. Like, I'm going to wait a while. It's not a need for me right now. I am rest mode. And, making sure that my mind is mentally clear. Because I still get asked to go to do a few things. And I'm hesitant because, my gut will tell me if I want to do something or if I need to let it go. So I'm thankful for the stuff that I've done. And there's a lot of things that I have done that I would like to touch on. This is, a cool thing that I've done, and like I said earlier, with me in a scene with Nick Cage, I could have broken his knees and legs. I did not. But yeah. But I'm glad that I was a part of that. I'm glad that it's such a great film. And if you haven't seen Pig, I highly recommend it. And I'm not trying to gloat. I don't tell people that I'm better than them. But I'm just happy that I've done a few things that, not a lot of people would ever imagine. And I like to share little stories of doing amazing things that, I can tell people. And I'm blessed. And, another thing that I've done that I'm really passionate about is this podcast. So I want to thank each and every one of you who listen, tell your family and friends and total strangers at work. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for everything that you have done. and people who are supporting me and, are in my corner. So I thank each and every one of you, and keep on spreading the word. And thank you so much. I do. This podcast has been a blessing, and it's not easy. I'm doing everything by myself, and it is something that you know, I'm so proud of what I'm trying, and let me know what you would like more of, less of. I will take any and all opinions. Again, this is just me living my life, telling stories, and also how I feel about things that plague my life, the negativity and the positivity. And I try and lean to the positive side, but there's sometimes where it is not easy. And, this podcast is something that I'm really proud of, because, I'm not relying on anyone but me. If I don't, if I don't record an episode, well, Saturday at noon, Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, an episode has to go up. So, that in itself is motivation, and I try really hard to make good quality, and I'm trying really hard to improve everything, and feedback is something key. And I thank each and every one of you who has listened to one episode or all my episodes. That makes me feel like I'm I'm worth something, and that does bring a smile to my eye, because sometimes when people embed in yourself that you're a worthless piece of crap, it's hard. It really is, when a lot of people are negative, or they don't want to support you. And the people who listen to this podcast every single week and tell me, hey, keep going, and I'm still I'm still trying out things and telling stories. Like, this one is me doing some extra work for TV shows and movies, almost breaking Nick Cage's legs. Yeah. Going to WrestleManias, and this, playing D&D, playing video games, writing my thoughts, and I am a talented lyricist. I'm a talented writer, and for the longest time I really hadn't been writing, but I'm starting writing more, and hopefully one day I can share some of the things that I've written. But I'm proud of each and every one of you who are listening, and if you're new, hi. Welcome to Coping with Life. Feel free to go to anchor.fm/coping with life. There's links to my social media, which I try really hard to keep up with, but I'm only one person, and I'm doing everything by myself. And I'm trying really hard. Slowly, but surely, I'm really proud of what I'm trying to build. A safe community, and it's been very helpful for me. Going through everything that I'm going through, and it, you know, it actually gives me something to look forward to and smile and go, you know what? I'm proud. And there's some episode that I would like to go back to and re-record. But you know, I'm. This is this is why I do things, so we can learn, and I'm very proud of the direction that I'm going, and sticking to things. I have goals, and this this episode, Pig came out. I went out and saw Pig at a local movie theater, and here I am in a movie theater with other people, and I, with social anxiety and I'm there alone. Nobody wanted to go see a movie with me. And so I'm like, okay. And so I was like totally out of place. And I made it, and it was a great movie, and I'm glad that I saw it. I also saw Black Widow, because I felt confident enough that I could make it through another movie, and I did. Black Widow was cool. Black Widow is one of my favorite Marvel heroes. I mean, it is a red-haired spy, basically. Yeah. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Natasha. But I'm a dork. I like Deadpool. I like Black Widow. I'm a huge comic book nerd. That's something that I'm a huge fan of. But that is who I am. But I want to thank each and every one of you who has listened and will continue to listen and help support me, and I would love more feedback and what you would like more of or less of. I'm just trying things, and however, learning things, and I'm very passionate about learning things that I don't know, and there's a lot of things that I haven't done in my life, and there's a lot of things that I don't know, and so when I've done things in my life, the thing is, I really don't think, like hitchhiking to Washington State, or, going to Florida on a whim, or just doing what I want to do. I don't really think about, can I do this, or what will happen. I just, think blind faith, and, hopefully it turns out right. And I remember somebody once said, they said, you do realize your luck is going to run out one of these days. And I went, well, at least I will have amazing stories to tell. And I'm very passionate that I can, tell these stories and express things because I don't have anybody to tell them, or, people who want to listen or care. Because, most people, I don't. In my circle, they're the ones that want to say the cool thing that has happened to them, or vent and rant. And when I say things, they just go, whatever. And that stings. So I have an outlet where I can just say things. And yeah, some other thing that I will say will be heavily edited, redacted, changed, for the sake of, well, reasons. But those will come later, hopefully. But I'm just a big dude with a big heart, and careness, and I like to share, people, hey, stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, have a great day. It's it's a small thing in life, and life is short. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. From an hour from now, is not guaranteed. So, with that said, I try and live and love life as much as possible. And, there's a lot of people that have it way worse than I do. And I feel sorry about it. But, I have to do what I can do for me and live my best life. We're all fighting battles that most people won't understand. However, I have another story. This just happened a couple of days ago. I was out walking with my mom, and we happen to be a part of town where I'm always on alert. And here this person is screaming, yelling, cursing, and just annihilating who they're yelling at, being mad. And for people, if this is your first episode, I am a large person. I am 6'5", 400 pounds. This person, probably 5'5", $120. And they're walking by and they're just screaming insanities and just being very obscene and argumentative and being loud. They walk by and I'm on alert, and they go, and I quote, hi, yeah, and then you walk right by it, and then after they get away from arm's reach, they go back to yelling obscenities, and I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I'm very intimidating, but I'm a gentle dream giant. So I like laughing, and just that made me laugh, because it was something, and I hope this put a smile on your face, and if whatever you're doing while listening to this, I appreciate it. I do. it means the world to me what support that I've received, and my gratitude is overflowing. And I know right now at the time that I'm recording everything, it's not much, but to me it's the world. I'm I'm so glad that you're listening to this, and um, so I'm very appreciative, and also again, go see Pig. If you're into a very slow movie, even the trailer makes it seem otherwise. There's people. I've heard people say, "Well, it's like John Wick with fake." It is not. It is a great movie, great storytelling, and it basically touches on my episode 1, grief, a lot. So I'm very glad that I saw that movie, because it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I'm feeling currently, and so it's I don't want to say too much, but so at the end of Act 1, I'm in the fighting den, pulling the dude off. But other than that, it's not really violence or Nick Cage being crazy. It's very good for a Nick Cage movie. It's actually just in general a great movie. And I saw a few people who, and I think they were critics, leaving, because like, this movie is stupid, and it's like, well, I enjoyed it, but everybody's opinion, they have one, and so I hope each and every one of you who's listening to this, if you have a dream, chase it. No matter how big or small, chase it. Go for it. Take a risk today. Take a risk today. Because, win or lose, you did it. No matter how much hurt or joy it may bring you in the long run, the journey is all that matters. And, being 34 myself, there's a lot of barriers and a lot of hurdles that I experience every single day. But I chase my dreams. And, the shallow people who say, look at the fat retard, or what they may think about me and whatnot, I don't let that bother me anymore. It still bothers me, but I try not to let it bother me. But there's some days where I'm vulnerable, where that just tears a hole. But, chase your dreams. I no matter how big or small, live the best life you can, and, take chances. Because, you know, you will miss every single shot you ever don't take. You will miss any shot that you don't take. There's a lot of choices that I've made in my life, and they've turned out really, really bad for me. But at the same time, I'm glad that I made the choices that I did for the integrity of myself. And there's a lot of things that I've done that's turned out pretty spectacular. But, if you can do your best, work hard, and, sometimes good things will happen. And, this podcast, when I started this, I had no idea what I was doing. I still have no idea what I'm doing. But hopefully I'm doing better. And, live the best life, and, I have dreams, I have aspirations, and slowly but surely I'm doing it. However, thank you for an amazing episode. I will, and, thank you so much, each and every one of you, and know that I love you very much, and I care about each and every one of you, and I hope your life gets better, and you're in a happy place, and you're where you want to be. Keep on trying to be the best you, and I hope you have a support system. So, from the heart of my heart, I thank you. I love each and every one of you very, very, very much. And, chase your dreams, because, sometimes when you least expect it, something good is going to happen. That's what I keep on telling myself. And I'm still smiling, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So, wherever you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This has been Coping with Life. I'm your host, Scotty. I bid you adieu.